There were so many good deals at this auction, I had to take time to process them. So these are the cars that were auctioned and sold. These are the cars at the Westbank luxury auction, the big boy, big girl auction. So these are the cars and how much they sold for. These are the final bid amounts or the hammer prices. You still need to factor in your VAT of 15% as well as documentation fees of 1,950. So if you're going to be using the auction number calculator, that's all you need, and that'll give you your total invoice price. So we were bidding at this auction and we did win some, we did lose some, but we are going to try again the next week. So, guys, as I told you, many good cars here. I didn't manage to do all the cars that I'd wanted to do before the auction started. So, I'm going to have to do total invoice price videos for those cars. So, I think there's about 17 in total. So I'm going to be posting gang videos. Uh yeah, obviously there were cars that were not sold. So a lot of people ask me, Andile, what does reserve not met or reserve met mean? So the reserve is basically the minimum amount that the bank requires for them to consider selling the vehicle. So let's say the bank says, obviously we won't know the reserve amounts. That's another thing. Only the bank knows. We won't know what the reserve amount is. But what I've seen is that with the Westbank websites, the reserve not met is just a default. Whenever someone places a bid on that, it will just automatically say reserve met. But in essence, reserve not met means that the car didn't sell. So if you see any of the cars labeled reserve not met and it has a starting bid amount or whatever, then that means the car did not sell. So the bank, it didn't, the bids weren't enough to be considered. Um, to be considered because the reserve is the amount that the bank, the minimum amount that the bank requires for them to consider selling the vehicle. So if the reserve amount is 120 and the bids only got up to 100 or there were no bidders, then the car will not sell. It'll basically come back again at another auction or a lot of things happen. But yeah, let's just say it'll come back again at another auction. So yeah, actually not a lot of cases of reserve not met here. Um, there were a lot of interesting, even during the auction. I did mention this on the live. There were a couple of vehicles that I was paying attention to, and their starting bids actually did go down, and then they ended up selling. So that was the white Grand i10 with the clutch and door problem. So that one, the starting bid of 90,000 before the auction started. And I remember when the countdown started, the 2 minute countdown started. At some point, the starting bid went down to 70,000 and then it got up again, ended up selling for 93. And then the V Class, I think it's the only V Class. I think there was one V Class, the V300D. That one also had a starting bid of 1 million, and it went down to 900,000 rands, and it ended up selling for 973, I think. Yeah, so yo, plenty of good deals here, guys. We were analyzing some of the deals during the live. Obviously, the BMW got sold for an interesting amount. So yeah, I have to do a follow-up video on that. The Fortuner, the G-Wagon as well sold. The bikes, all of them got sold. The Toyota Quantum taxis, all of them got sold as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that at least we got a car last week. So yeah, we're going to see next week. The RS3s, yeah, very interesting. Also, there's a Defender that sold for a crazy bargain, and I'm going to have to do a video on that as well. And then yeah, the Bakis, obviously we got a Baki. Yeah, so guys, if you want us to bid for you at any of the auctions, um, please let us know well in advance, because one of the issues we are facing is with regards to registration. That's the major hurdle, getting people registered. So yeah, I do get that some people are not as tech savvy or whatever. But if you know you're ready to get a car on auction, get in touch with me so that I keep you on standby. So that when I say okay, the car you want, I found it, then it's easy for us to get started with or onboarding with the registration, because that's my major hurdle right now, getting people registered. And we did miss out on a lot of good deals for some potential clients because of registration. So with Westbank, you have to be by 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Wednesday, have to be registered. So yeah, but also I'm also going to be changing my systems with regards to registration. I'm going to have a very simple system on getting people registered. So yeah, it's going to be very easy going forward. But yeah, guys, have a look at the cars and tell me which lot caught your attention, which lot were you bidding for. Maybe you lost, maybe you won. And yeah, Andy Auction up signing out. Thank you guys.